Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day in the pretty decent state of Alabama. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson, as we're live from MOMMA GOLDBERGS Deli here in Auburn, Alabama, a mainstay here for all the Auburn Tiger fans. We got Andrew Ellis back in the snowy side of Fayetteville with a foot of snow, but we appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon. This afternoon, obviously, it's game day. We're going to talk Arkansas and Auburn happening tonight, 8 p.m. Going to have plenty to discuss there. We're going to have a little Remember Whensday action. Looking back, a little fun stuff that we'll probably be getting into, thanks to Fayetteville Flyco. And, of course, we'll get to your chats and everything. It's going to be a lot going on, but it's fun to be here. And we got our guy, 2010 Quinn over here, apparently, who has been kind enough to join us live. For those of you who've been watching the show, he's been one of our residential super chatters as well as an Auburn faithful fan. So either way, it's great to be here, great to hang out. And, fellas, it's officially game day for the Razorbacks against the number one Auburn team.
It is officially game day, man. This is cool. This is a really cool spot, by the way. Mama GOLDBERGS over here. This is my kind of jam, dude. If I went to college in Auburn, I would be here often, I feel like, and I'd pay for it on the waistline. But no, this is cool, man. Enjoying this place. I like the campus. Like of the places we've gone so far, it's no Arkansas, but hey, it's this is pretty nice, man. I like it. I'm digging it, and appreciate Quinn for being out here kicking it with us. So good times, good vibes, and looking forward to a good game. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully that's the case. And okay, now that we've pissed off Ellis enough for giving him FOMO a little bit, Ellis, how's everything there in Northwest Arkansas with the snow that's apparently a foot tall?
Still cold, still very cold. Have not left the house at all, and I don't think I will be doing that anytime soon. I got to ask, though, is Auburn more of a college town than Lexington?
100%.
Very, very much so.
Well, that's good to hear, because that's what I like. I like a college town, and I loved my time in Lexington. I really did enjoy it. Like, it was a way cooler city than I expected. But, like, part of me, like, when you travel to things like this, like, you kind of want it to be a college town, and so I like that, but seems like y'all got some good Auburn faithful there. Heard y'all kicked it with Sonny DeShera, which is cool.
Well, I did. Curtis didn't. I actually didn't tell Curtis that at all. So he's probably like, "What the crap is that?"
I know who that is.
Okay, I was just making sure because me and Ellis are having this conversation while you were talking to Quinn. So like, he's gonna be like, "What in the world?" Yeah. So apparently, saw him at the breakfast spot that I went with from Zach Blackerby, walked on Tigers, had some breakfast there, and apparently he was there, SEC Player of the Year in 2022.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Ellis, though. Ellis, remind me who ended that season for the Tigers in postseason play?
That would be Will McIntyre. Shoved it right up their cram holes. Just put them to sleep. Put them to bed, and ended their season.
Yeah. Remember when?
Yes.
Willie Mack was given the cheddar to Old Auburn. How about that?
That's also the same game that Peyton Stovall had 5 hits, which I believe either tied or set the school record for an Omaha game. I think it tied because I think Casey Martin had 5 hits in Omaha in 2018. So, always cool to have a freshman rack up 5 hits against an SEC team in Omaha.
Yes, that's always very important. So, but listen, it's been great. Our trips down here is great. Again, we're going to have plenty of content for you throughout the day. Dealing with Arkansas and Auburn tonight. Pot at the Palace goes live from Neville Arena immediately following the game, which I'm sure will go really well for everybody. So, but we're going to have some fun with that too and continue it on. And I want to bring this comment up because I didn't even realize it because Dabbing Rhino says it. He says, "What's that WPS behind y'all?" I just realized it. It's there is WPS. I think it's an internet thing.
Yeah,
but we're going to say it's Woo Pig Suey today.
No, I wrote it. I graffitied this place.
Yes. Like I didn't even think about it. Didn't even notice it. So yeah, there's we've made our stay here. They decked out our Airbnb with Auburn stuff, but we decided to take over MOMMA GOLDBERGS and do some Woo Pig Suey action with it.
Little subtle Razorback crop dusting of Auburn here.
Yes.
It's all good.
Yes. So we're going to take it though, folks. But yeah, we'll get to your chats as well. So any of y'all that want to get into the conversation, get in the chats. We'll do our best to answer it and everything and have some fun with that too. But of course, again, tonight it's game night and Arkansas, the Razorbacks, this is one of those things to where nothing's going to change as far as from what it was Saturday or going into this game as far as, this one thing might happen. Or, hey, I started thinking about it, even though me and Curtis were walking around Auburn and we kept trying to sell each other. Like, yeah, convince me not to pick Arkansas tonight or convince me that Arkansas is not going to win. And then we started feeling ourselves a little bit. We're like, no, actually, I think Arkansas, hey, listen, I'm just saying. If they have a bad shooting night, maybe it could happen. But this might be, without question, I think it's the most daunting task of Arkansas to try to go out and beat Auburn in Neville Arena. It's not something that anyone is expecting them to do. But at the same time, it's going to be fun to see. Because like I said, you want a chance at it. If you're a big-time player, if you're a big-time team, if you want to be a big-time team, this is the type of game and the atmosphere that you want to perform well in. So, hey, roll the dice, see what happens. Who knows? Maybe you screw around and upset a number one team on the road.
Yeah, I mean, that's the mentality you got to have, right? And at the end of the day, for me, yes, it is a very tall task. I don't know what it opened at, but I looked at SARACEN a little bit ago, and it was 16, Arkansas 16-point underdogs. That's a lot. That's healthy. Auburn is the best team in the country. You've got your work cut out for you, but you also have the opportunity to pick up the biggest win available in the country. There is no better win in the country than winning at Auburn this year. And you have the opportunity to go and give it a shot. So if Arkansas gets that, we can eliminate a lot of the questions about this team and what's been going on. And if they don't, then you live to play another day, and you're still in pretty much the exact same position that you are going into this game, although with a little bit more sense of urgency, as if that wasn't already high, because you have one fewer game to play. But what it all comes down to me, is does Arkansas play with the type of desperation and urgency that Bruce Pearl's expecting them to? Because that's the thing. Like, you can say all you want. You're like, oh, no, we're not going to let this be a letdown. We're not overlooking Arkansas, whatever. But the truth of the matter is, right now, Arkansas has a hell of a lot more to play for than Auburn does. But are they going to play like that is the question. And, Calipari's tried to send his messages after the postgame against Texas A&M and everything. If those guys are fired up and ready to play, we're going to know right out of the gates what this is going to look like. And then you give them a puncher's chance to compete, take the game into the second half, see what happens. But if they come out, lollygagging around, they look anything like they did against LSU coming out of the gates at home, they'll get run off the floor because Auburn's that kind of team.
Yeah, motivation is certainly a big factor. Of course, Arkansas has more to play for, and so you'd think, hey, they'd be the hungrier, desperate team, like you're saying Bruce Pearl was alluding to. But I feel like when you're playing teams like Auburn, who pride themselves on being the number one team in the country, pride themselves on being the best team, and really take pride in that and want to kind of set that tone each game, you don't really catch Auburn napping much. Like, how many times have you turned on the TV and been like, Auburn just doesn't have it tonight. They're kind of sleepwalking. Once. And really, like, even in their losses, they scored 81 and 78 points respectively. And so it's like, I was thinking also about, like, man, if Arkansas, maybe if Arkansas can yuck it up, that's the path to victory. I don't really know. Tennessee's really the only team that's, like, effectively slowed them down. And even that game, I believe Auburn won like 55-52 or something like that. But really, you don't really get Auburn to not play their game. And so I think we always talk about what kind of game does it need to be for Arkansas. The thing that's tough about Auburn is, one, they can beat you whatever game you're playing. You're playing a low-scoring rock fight, they can beat you that way. Physical, They can beat you there. They can also beat you in a track meet. And so I think for Arkansas, it's kind of that challenge makes this interesting, because it's not really a style thing. It's just, you have to play really good basketball. You have to make a ton of shots. You have to beat them kind of at their game in their home court, which we know is very tough to do. And so there's no way to, like, win this game without it being a really awesome performance. Like, you're not going to catch Auburn napping is kind of where I'm at.
If this is really scripted for the Vice documentary, then Arkansas is just going to find a way to get this done tonight. Like, they've got to come up with another full episode from one game somewhere. It's got to be this one. I mean, so for everybody who thinks this stuff is scripted, you're going to find out tonight when Arkansas goes and gets it done. But no, Andrew, you're exactly right, man. That's the thing about Auburn, and it sucks because this is, like, it is a natural letdown spot for them. But they don't have those under Bruce Pearl. He's a master motivator. I was really impressed with everything he had to say in their press conference yesterday, with the message he's been delivering. Just like, hey. Yes, they got off to a slow start, but here are where all these guys were in the portal. This were their rankings. They went to play for Cal. Remember what Calipari did to you guys last year when his Kentucky team came in and they were desperate. I mean, he's been beating it into their heads like crazy, to the point where you hope it's almost has like the reverse jinx, effect of maybe he's overdoing it a little bit. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see, man. And I think at the end of the day, it's just an opportunity for Arkansas, and you want to see them embrace the challenge, man. The one thing that would disappoint me the most is if you get the Arkansas on the road against the number one effort that they got against Tennessee. in January. I don't want to see that. Look like you're up for the challenge. Look like you're excited for the game and the opportunity, and then let the chips fall where they may. And they may fall in a loss as predicted, but at least you give an A effort. And that's what we didn't see at A&M, and it left everybody frustrated. And you don't want that to double down with another golden opportunity.
And let the record show that's because I said something kind of similar to the effect that you did, Curtis, on Locked On this morning, and I got tweeted at where somebody was like, "Oh, there we go with the moral victories again," because you're just hoping that they're playing well. To me, it's not about, oh, you hope they play well in this game because of the game itself. I'm hoping that they come out playing the way that you said, motivated, fired up, and all that for the rest of the season type of mentality. Because it's like you come off of that really frustrating win against A&M, and if you follow it up with a big old stinker, then like suddenly it's like, why if you can't get up for this game and for this team and kind of come out with your hair on fire because you're pissed off of what happened against A&M, then why even play the rest of the season? So to me, it's not even just about, oh, I want to play well in this game because golly gee, that would be really nice. That'd be swell. Because it made me feel good to almost beat Auburn, maybe. No, it's about how are you going to respond here, because I feel like that's going to be really indicative of how you continue to fight the rest of the season. If you come out and you play well, even if you lose, no moral victories. But it is at least going to make me and so many other people feel like, hey, I mean, you can't expect to beat Auburn on the road, but they're still playing for something. They're still fighting. They're still trying. They're still in a position to where they can still make something happen.
You want people to still be able to believe, right?
Yeah.
Do not do what Oklahoma, who was also on the bubble, went down to Florida and did yesterday.
Yeah.
They just look like a team that's folded, like they packed up shop for the season. That's not the vibes you want to give off. Win or lose, that is not the vibe you want to give off.
Well, and also, I mean, again, people that say moral victories are not a thing, they are. They very much are. But again, to your point, Curtis, the difference between a 5-point loss at Auburn and a 25-point loss at Auburn, or even a 20-point loss, that matters a good bit, especially when you have a team in the metrics that love, like Auburn is good on all the metrics. So if you lose by 5 at Auburn, that's almost as like in the net and in the strength of schedule and all that. That's about as good as like an 8-point win at home over some teams. Like realistically, you would see Arkansas get a pretty fat bump if they kept this game close with Auburn. And again, not saying that we should, get a gold star and everybody should be thrilled about that. But when you're on this bubble and you're competing with all these teams and the margin for error is so thin, and you have another bubble team in Oklahoma, who, by the way, beat you, they didn't help themselves at all. Like, they're going to get docked a good bit. I haven't checked the net today, but I would assume they went down a couple spots. Arkansas would go up a couple spots if they lost by 5 at Auburn. So for everyone that's saying it's not a moral victory, like, one, I disagree because your team can get a boost from playing well in a game like this. But also, there is a very big difference between losing close and losing big, especially when you're playing a team like Auburn who's good in all the metrics.
Yeah, and I hope everybody understands that we're just being realist here.
Trying to be
realistic about what this could look like and an understanding and a respect for what Auburn is and what they've done as a team this season. But screw those guys, right? Listen, like, we all want Arkansas to win this game. Like, don't get it twisted one bit. And it's not crazy. It wouldn't be, just the craziest thing in the world if it happened. But there's a reason why they're 16-point underdogs, and I think it's okay for us to acknowledge that, right?
Yes.
Well, and also, if anybody has a problem with how we're framing this game, if you go out there and beat Auburn, it kind of does it even more. So if we've set it up where it's like, hey, yeah, Arkansas, this would be a huge achievement if Arkansas were to beat Auburn. One, that's a true statement. It shouldn't bother you.
It would be for anybody. Yeah,
make the win even sweeter. So it's like, I think people should understand what the situation is going into this game.
All right, our guy Logan. Yeah, I'm about to say hit that John Cena music because our guy Logan, one of our residential listeners and one of our favorite supporters here at Inside Arkansas, just dropped. It was nut dropping time for him as he just had a $500 super chat to us. So much appreciated, my man Logan. That's a great dude who is very supportive of us. And this is something that we gave him a sponsorship. We gave him official sponsorship, but it wasn't because we're trying to sell and get his money. It's because we wanted to show our appreciation for him. But dude, that is awesome, Logan. You're the man. Thank you so much. It's been so much fun here in Auburn so far, and because of you and people like you, it's why we're able to do the stuff that we do. So we really appreciate it, Logan.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. We really, really, truly do appreciate it. Super grateful. Not necessary, but we certainly love it. And hey, you might be bailing us out right now for whatever this trip is going to look like, trying to get from Auburn back to Fayetteville tomorrow. we might get stranded somewhere, and this is going to come in handy, man. But no, in all seriousness, we really appreciate it, brother, and we've enjoyed getting to know you, and we're glad that you're an official sponsor now. This is a big deal for us. It's a big deal for you. You're the man.
At this point, Logan, I appreciate you as a coworker. At this point, we are colleagues. I feel like, with just how much you've done for us and how much your support, it really means a lot. But also, don't let him off the hook. He snuck the $500 in there, but also says going to be a beatdown. I'm afraid he had some negativity to get off his chest and just had to doll it up. Had to package it up all nice. Thought we wouldn't notice. What is that wavering that I'm seeing from you, Logan? What the hell, man?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a little bit. I don't want to say harsh, but I've been kind of calling it out with the Razorback fans just because, I understand, but I am disappointed in the general disappointment about this team because, I get it. This is not what you were expecting. It's not what you hoped for. It's not what was kind of sold to you in terms of John Calipari and the NIL budget and all that. But dang, man, I want people to get fired up. I want them to be excited about the opportunity to be on the road, playing the top-ranked team in the country. And you're fighting for your postseason. This is exciting, man. It's stressful. And I wish, or I hope that people can channel that into some excitement and some passion, as opposed to being like, man, this ain't what we were expecting. Screw this. They're going to get their ass kicked, whatever. I understand the sentiment. I get it. I'm not going to roast Logan for it because he just, he's paid our mortgage or whatever. He's keeping the lights on over here. But I do hope that people can find some excitement, and it would help. To go back to what we've been saying, win or lose, if Arkansas comes out and plays like their hair is on fire, if they play with the type of urgency and desperation that everybody's looking for, which the team and the fan base had that misconnection for so long, but it was when they started playing that way where it started to come together and they really endeared themselves to the fan base. And now they've kind of backslid a little bit for a couple games, and people are just thinking, oh, yeah, well, maybe that's just the way this team really is. Maybe they're showing their true colors. Let's hope not. We'll see tonight.
Yeah, and also to the point, Logan again, thanks so much, man, and also to the people that have felt like that about the way that it's been approached of whether it's not feeling great about this or whatever. Just imagine how the feelings would be, how different it would be if Arkansas had actually found a way to beat that Texas A&M team the way they should have.
Yep.
Even if it was by 1 point, the mentality and the understanding would be so differently. But it's always about what have you done for me lately? And the last that we saw this Razorback basketball team was them going on the road against the top 10 team in A&M who got their butts handed to them last night against Mississippi State. The last thing that we saw was, of course, something to the extent of, hey, you guys went out, A&M tried to give it to you. You didn't want to take it. You just want to screw around and do dumb stuff. And so, again, what have you done for me lately? That's the lasting thing, so people are going to be up against it. But if Arkansas found a way to pull a rabbit out of their rear end and decide, hey, we're gonna win this against number 1 team, certainly that Missouri game, everyone's like, I think we beat them by 10.
It's the hottest ticket in town.
Yeah, but it's just, again, what do you do for me lately is always about that. So, but appreciate you, Logan, as always, and our guy Quinn, man, Quinn. I can't make up even a nickname for you now. It was 10 Quinn, then it was Quinty, but he comes over here and drops $100 super chat for us, and he of course bought us some beverages here at Mama GOLDBERGS. Nice enough to come and hang out, nice enough to come and meet us. But Quinn, you're the man. I will give you this credit. You are the one Auburn fan that I like. The one Auburn fan that I like.
Yeah, Quinn is the man. And
yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. But yes, we much appreciate it, my man. Thank you.
I got to give Quinn credit too. We talked for about 20 minutes before we started the show. Ball knower.
Yes.
Yeah, Auburn ball knower. He was dropping some knowledge in there. So I appreciated that. Now he's high selling the atmosphere tonight at Neville. So we'll see what it's all about. I mean, it's some Cameron Indoor comparisons here, and so we'll see. But I'm looking forward to it, man. And Quinn, we appreciate you.
Is built that same way like it was in Cameron. Yeah, I gotta. Yeah.
What he's saying to us right now is dynamite comes in small packages, and
That's
so
right.
Loud crowds come in small arenas. I think is what we're looking at here.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about that. I've heard not only just from Quinn, but from so many Auburn fans about the atmosphere and about how incredible it is. So I'm looking forward to it. They don't fly the Eagle in Neville, do they? No, they can't do that. All right. Well, I was hoping for it. I was hoping that we could see.
People don't go to church in Auburn. Have we determined that they don't go to Wednesday night church?
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out if Wednesday night church happens or if there's a wreck at the Bobby Hopper Tunnel. One of those things that's gonna be able to be a great excuse making. But yeah, thank you so much.
Atlanta too. The Atlanta traffic is always bad.
Yeah, the economy's in shambles right now. I mean, just what do you expect? It's crazy how that happens. But yes, really appreciate all of you guys. We got a few more super chats. Our guy Angel here doesn't say anything, but he just gave us a super chat. We appreciate you, Angel, as always, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and it's crazy. If I was Angel, I wouldn't have done that after you kicked him out of the A&M post game for no reason.
What'd you kick him out for?
John. He just did it. Like he did it, and he was like, "Oh, dang! I meant to do that to somebody else." He put him in timeout.
I put him in timeout. I did not mean
real
it.
Name now. I learned it the other day.
It's not Angel?
No, not Angel.
Okay. I thought you were about to drop it, but we probably don't need to give real names to people who don't want their real names.
I don't want to put his government out there. No.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know if his taxes are in order. But we appreciate you, Angel, as always. Our guy David also at Super Chat says, I guess this is what we are doing now. Whoop big.
Whoop big.
It is. You are correct. This is what we are doing.
Yep. Currently, what we are doing right now.
Are there any Razorback fans here?
I have not seen a soul.
There's a chance that outside of team personnel, that me, John, and Anthony from Whole Hog Sports are like the only Razorback folks here.
Might be.
I don't know. Like, who can really travel, like with the weather and everything, and then traveling all the way to Auburn for a game like that on a Wednesday night? Like, it might just be us.
Nope.
Eeyore didn't make the trip.
No, well, I don't think so. I don't know.
Should I understand that reference?
You should. We'll talk later.
Yeah, we'll talk later then. Because I said, whenever there's a nickname given that, I just never know for sure. But I also appreciate you, Kate. He said, better odds, Arkansas money line plus 900 or John finds luggage. Well,
Arkansas
first off, there's an H in my name, buddy. There's no Jonathan. But also, yes, plus 900, the Hogs take the money line. No questions asked. The luggage is gone. It has ceased to exist. It is no longer here. So we can stop with hey, what's more likely? Nope, there's nothing more likely. It's gone. So, but we appreciate you anyways. Plus 900, though, is a lot. 16 points is insane, according to BetSaracen. But I'm just saying, I'm not saying the Hogs are going to win, but I'd probably take the points. I'd probably take Arkansas to cover.
I would hope so. I'm going to be very disappointed in what's been an otherwise awesome trip if Auburn covers that.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah.
We've also got a few super chats. We really appreciate this, guys. Like, really. Hey, our guy Hayden Ulmer says, appreciate you. He says, when does the first barley soda go down today, fellas?
Right now. Actually,
right to it.
It is happening right now.
Yeah, they do serve beer here at MOMMA GOLDBERGS. So if you're ever interested, which is, again, an awesome place. We really appreciate them letting us do it from here. This place is popping. In every single place, or every single time I talk to an Auburn person, whether it's our guy Zach Blackerby or Taylor Korn from the first round or any of those guys, or the next round, that was something that always got brought up was MOMMA GOLDBERGS. So, and we happen to have our Airbnb literally right next to it. So it really worked out conveniently, and this place is really cool.
Yeah, good vibes. It reminds me of Loaf and Joe's, like on the inside a little bit. Like it's kind of, cool.
Somebody
place.
said that in the chat. Somebody said it was Nick Lee, the Scott Fountain lover. He said Loaf and Joe's, MOMMA GOLDBERGS.
Oh, there you go.
Well, listen, Loaf and Joe's is just a great organization. I'm
Very
actually
underrated.
stunned because like Loaf and Joe's is a thing I'd heard about, but I was stunned when I went to it and realized how awesome it was. I was like, dude, why is more people not talking about this? It's not one that you get recommended. Curtis, can you confirm if it's better than Loaf and Joe's?
Not yet, but I tell you what, when this show is over, I will let you know for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. Also, John, did Taylor ask about me?
We haven't met up with her just yet, but if she does, though, I'll shoot you a text and let you know.
I just thought I'd make sure.
Yeah,
little out of your age range, but
oh really?
Yeah. It's
okay.
I'm just gonna move on. Let's see. Shark and Sauce says, "I've got giving FOMO. Appreciate your super chat, but appreciate you.
Everyone else should probably also have that.
This is great.
Yeah.
If Logan jumps off a bridge, everyone follows. Got it. That's just awesome.
Also, Logan said that the limit was 500 you can give. Apparently, he tried to give more, and they stopped him.
Oh well, there's this thing that they're called giving twice. You just follow it up. No, like again, whether it's obviously just being transparent. You give $500. It's definitely a lot more like a bigger deal than giving $2. But we're always appreciative of all of you that give. But it's I didn't know that there was a limit to giving because I'll be honest, I've never given more than a $500 super chat on anything.
Yeah,
so
no, absolutely not.
We got one of ones here. We need to here's what I thought about doing real quick, guys, because I know we're going to get into the game and back into it. But I thought about doing like if you're somebody that gives a $500 super chat to one of our streams, we make you like a plaque. It's almost like the YouTube play button or something to be like, you are a friend of Inside Arkansas or something like that. Yeah, mail them something to be like, hey, we appreciate you. It's like a part of a club, exclusive club.
First delivery on all the swag too.
Yes,
get geared up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got to get you all geared up too. Which again, reminder, folks, we do have merchandise available for sale. If you'd like to check it out and support us that way too, just go to insidearkansas.myshopify.com. We got some all great stuff now. It's Inside Arkansas, but also Pod at the Palace, the hoodies, shirts, bombastic hats with some shirts coming soon for that, and available in smalls. So we are getting big with that merchandising.
Cats by 90. I don't know if you're in here today, but I asked management about that Kentucky blue Pot at the Palace shirt, and the answer was hell no. It turns out I'm management. We just that color's not in stock, man. I apologize.
Fresh out of it. That is for sure. But yeah, again, we're loving our time here, and we're going to keep it moving here since it is a Wednesday. Let's go ahead and jump into one of our favorite segments, of course, being Remember Whensday, presented by Fayetteville Flyco. Go to fflyco.com. Use promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase, no matter where it's at, no matter how much it is. 20% off. You can always get it taken care of with Fayetteville Flyco. Again, fflyco.com. And they have so many great different things for hunting, outdoors, fishing, shirts, hats, all that great stuff. And we appreciate their partnership. And it goes to a great cause, helping out those veterans and those in the military services as well. So be sure to check them out again, fflyco.com. Use promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchases. So, guys, I felt like it only felt right here on a Remember Wednesday, being in Auburn and being a team that is going to take on the #1 Auburn Tigers.
Wow.
I almost did it. I was looking at something else, and it's not an insult at all. So don't hurt me, Quinn. But that was when Arkansas beat the #1 Auburn Tigers just a few seasons ago. Granted, that game was in Auburn Arena, went to overtime. Different teams. Surprisingly, none of those players that were on that team is on this team for Arkansas. Although one of them still playing college basketball, aka Devo Davis. But what do you guys think about being back in #1 when they beat them? What do you guys remember about that game in those moments?
I tweeted out last night, and I should have ripped the video so we could play it here. But the main thing I remember was getting there early for the game, obviously at Bud Walton. I'm just kind of chilling up there, and the student section was kind of already packed, and it was early warm-ups. And before the teams went back to the locker room, they'll get a little speech, and they'll come back out for their actual warm-ups. But Auburn was doing the dance party at midcourt on the Hog logo, and the students didn't like that. And I tweeted it out, and it went viral, and it went nuts. So I remember that. And then I remember it was Arkansas having the dance party at the end of that game. And Eric Musselman's, nipples out for Harambe
Blasting
there.
the nips.
So, yeah, I mean, but no, that was an awesome game, an awesome environment. Andrew and I talk about all the time how we were Big J journalists at the time trying to type stories, and the table on press row was shaking. It was like moving our laptop, and it was so loud it gives you a headache. Like you couldn't hear yourself think. It was insane. So many crazy moments in that game, from Kessler getting the yips at the free throw line to JD Note hitting that long loop-in three, and then obviously Devo with the teabag situation there. So that was an incredible game, a lot of fun. And Quinn tells me that Dylan Cardwell, who is on Auburn's team still, he was on that team.
Okay,
so yeah, he was on that team.
Okay, and Chris Moore.
Good God, and
Chris Moore, still
West
on
Memphis native Chris Moore.
Yeah, that's right. I see. I guess I was more referring to Arkansas, but so I guess there are some few players. Maybe they remember that. Maybe they're upset about it. But there was. I was talking about this with Curtis yesterday, Andrew. What's your thoughts? There was so many things that came from that game. Like, there's been a lot of memorable games that you have, like Arkansas that's won and everything. But it's just, you keep thinking and keep going and going. You're like, oh yeah, I remember this thing, the dancing on the logo. I remember the, certain players. I remember Kessler fouling out. I remember Muss in a sling with his shirt off. I remember the court rushing and how the lights went out. I remember how, there was just the pandemonium afterwards and just everything that went along with it. It was just, the Super Bowl stuff. Like all of it came from that one game, it felt like. And, again, it was a big game and all of that, but it was just incredible to think about how one game had so many throwbacks and references that happened back then.
It also had Duke Deuce. That's where the Duke Deuce relationship was formed, because all the players and everybody was celebrating in the court rush, and they were playing Duke Deuce, and the players were super into it. That was good. The Devo teabag is definitely like the coolest. like my favorite thing that came out of that game. That was very cool. But yeah, Curtis, you were talking about how we were trying to get those stories written. When they rushed the court, I think someone unplugged the internet. Like I really do think that's what happened. The internet was shaky, all the time when you have 20,000 people all on the same Wi-Fi or whatever. But I think someone unplugged something when they went to rush the court. And I remember calling Trey and just being like, I don't know if my story published. I hit publish and then like my laptop shut down. And so I was like, I don't know what happened, but you check it out. I mean, it's probably the worst story ever, but yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. And I remember being so terrified of Walker Kessler. Yeah, I mean, he sucked at the free throw line, but he had to have
a bad man.
9 blocks that game. JD Note had like a vintage JD Note game in that matchup. But one thing that's cool about it, you mentioned how many things have just lived on since that game that we're able to remember. At that moment, we felt like it was like a one-off, random Auburn being number 1. Because, of course, it was like, we were storming the court because they were number 1. It wasn't like because Auburn basketball is this institution. But it's cool that Auburn has remained relevant and remained good. Obviously, they're number 1 again. Arkansas obviously stunk last year, but like Arkansas has remained relevant. So now it feels like a real basketball rivalry. Back then, it didn't quite feel that way. And I think that was really the birth of it.
The other thing, real quick, that I remember from that is because of the court storm and how crazy that was, we could not get from press row to the press conference room. And so we had to go back up into the concourse and wait in line we were trying to get on the elevator, and we couldn't do that. And then we had to go down the stairs right there at like the entrance to Bud Walton and take the back tunnels to get in. And then they were blocking us off because security was like, no, like this is where the teams walk through. You can't get through here. And we're like, lady, we got to get through here. There's no press conference if we're not there. What are you talking about? It was such a headache to get in that press conference room. It was crazy because it was swamped. There are court stormings, and then there's what happened that night, and the entire court. If there were 20,000 people or 19.2 or whatever in Bud Walton Arena, 90% of them were on the floor. Like they jumped off the upper deck to get down there. It was nuts, man. It was crazy.
What was funny too is what I remember is I was also an astute credential member of the media, but I never, didn't do this thing called writing. I would just watch the game. And I remember going down to the court right before overtime because I'm like, I know they're rushing the court, and I want to try to get some content, get some filming of what's going on. Well, when Arkansas won and the court storming happened, I was like, I know I got to make sure my phone is secure in my hand. And I had a death grip on that thing. I got knocked from behind, and by the grace of God, my phone went flying forward. And I still to this day do not know how, because it could have been in an instant gone, just disappeared, stomped on forever. I would no telling when I would actually end up finding it, but it just bounced the right way. I got just the right grip on it, and I didn't get any film, but I was able to save my phone, which is the most important thing. But that was one. And also, two, I saved Jalen Williams' life. Now, he doesn't know this.
This is big.
He doesn't know this, but he was out there just like the rest of the team, was doing the court rushing and all that stuff. When I got out there, I was next to Jalen Williams, and he fell onto the ground. And I'm like, if this guy falls on the ground, if anybody fell on the ground, you get trampled. You can get hurt. You can get and I remember I had my phone in one hand. I got Jalen Williams by his chest, and he's 6'10", mind you. I pushed him up about as far as I could go, which wasn't very far. But somebody else and some other people came in and helped out, but he got back up and all that. So I'm like, because could you imagine Jalen Williams been hurt and I didn't step up? I'm taking credit. So you're welcome, Jalen Williams, for your career and for your great year at Arkansas, and also you playing for the OKC Thunder, because that was all me. I saved your life. But that's about my own personal story.
A humble hero.
Yeah, exactly. Like we have so many things that we have remember about that game and the fun that was had from it and all of that. But man, that was an intense game, an intense thing that ended up playing out in a great way. So we're hoping that there could be some fun to be had for tonight. But I think everyone's got their own story too for that and what happened with it. And I still think it was the greatest thing ever that Muss was able to be in a sling and get his shirt off and then still party out in the crowd, because whoever his doctors were like, please don't do this. Please do not run out there and do that. But he still found a way to get his shirt off, keep his sling on, and dance out there in the court.
Isn't it too bad that he got his shirt back on before he came to the press conference, though?
It is a shame. I was like, I mean, of course, what you can't expect him to take his shirt off in front of a professional media. I mean, come on, it's only in front of the fans and in front of the national television audience that he ever took his shirt off. So can't do it in front of the media. But yeah, that was again one of those moments that was so much fun. And also, Alyssa Lang's going to be on the sidelines for this one, and so she was there for the Arkansas Auburn game as being sidelines, and she was also there for the Arkansas Kentucky game earlier this year. So maybe the stars are aligning. We'll see. But that was a great time, and I know one that gets brought up all the time for that too. Let's see. We got a few super chats. Really appreciate everybody for those super chats. Our guy Chef Boy R. Lee, still one of the best ones there. Says Woo Pig shocked the world tonight. Who's Thero teabagging tonight?
Anybody he wants.
Yes.
We gonna get a return to form from a dude Thero tonight?
They better hope so. I mean, I certainly hope so, man. Yeah, he just hasn't looked like himself the last couple games. And 2 games ago, I guess it was the LSU game, we were wondering, is he sick? Is something going on? And it seemed like Jim Coleman, well, he didn't really shut that down. He just deflected it, right? He was like, I don't know, ask the medical staff that you guys don't get to talk to. And then he wasn't great at A&M either. So, and then Cal had the message delivered.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's received, man, because that is one thing about Auburn is some of the talented foremen that they face have given them the business. Like Arthur Kaluma put 34 on him.
Mm-hmm.
If Kaluma can put 34 on you, then Thero can have a good game against you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it should be able to make sense, but should be able to connect there. Also, our girl Joy to the World from Kentucky. Really appreciate you, Joy to the World. She says, "You boys be careful down there. You're not in the cradle of love like you were in Lexington. Good luck tonight."
You know what I've noticed? I mean, obviously, just because of the situation and everything, we were pretty recognizable in Lexington. We were walking around or at least I was in an Arkansas hoodie last night and everything. Nobody cared.
Nope.
Nobody was worried about it.
Nope.
We will never get that treatment again. Where I mean, literally, we were recognized more in Lexington than we are in Fayetteville sometimes.
Yeah. And it just shows you that, sometimes whether it's love watching or hate watching, still watching at the end of the day. And we're still very thankful. Yeah.
Pete Weber, that's all you could do.
Yep.
Love me or hate me, you watched.
We love it. And we love, we'll see what it's like today for the game and leading up to the game. Cause I know it's going to be a late one in a midweek and all of that, but we look forward to kind of checking it all out and getting in the atmospheres. We're going to have some work to do beforehand, but plenty of time here too. So, another super chat we got to give a shout out to is Captain Sirius Band. But he says, appreciate you. He says, how do we get Auburn to boo Cal and the boys? Can y'all just boo them for the big W? Apparently that's all you need to do. It's just boo.
I think they'll probably boo Cal anyway.
Yeah, I think everybody's Cal.
It's supposed, allegedly a hostile and rowdy environment. So I'd imagine just because, John Calipari's left Kentucky doesn't mean he isn't hated by opposing fan bases. So I bet he gets the business in there. I'll be anxious to see what it looks like, but yeah, he'll get it.
I'd say there's only been one coach in my life I feel like I hated at one place, but then he went to another place and I didn't hate, and that was Steve Spurrier. I feel like I really hated that dude at Florida, but when he went to South Carolina, I'm like, I actually kind of like you. I don't know if maybe just because of the humble of getting into the NFL and being bad or what, but that doesn't happen very often. People just like, oh, I don't hate that guy anymore just because he's wearing a different colored blazer. No, I
even didn't hate Spurrier after he gave McFadden the cold shoulder. After he was like, I think, what did he not vote for him at all for Heisman or something like that?
Yeah, wasn't worthy of it apparently.
After 321 on their head, dude. That's crazy.
It's outrageous.
That's like Bielema not ranking Ohio State that one year. You remember he did that?
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, there's nobody petty in sports. Come on now, nobody does that stuff. So, it's again, we appreciate Fayetteville Flyco. Remember Whensday here on the show, remembering when Arkansas beat #1 Auburn. It's going to be quite a different situation here if they pull this one off. But still, it's happened before. It can maybe happen again.
If Sam Pittman can come in here and beat Auburn, which he did recently, John Calipari can do it.
Yep. So totally the same situation and circumstance too.
Dave Van Horn not only went into Auburn last year, he left for a day. He left the team behind and said, "Hey, you guys take care of this one. I got to go be there for the birth of my grandson." And they still won. So, or granddaughter, I think it was.
Granddaughters, because there's triplets, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so he had the whole stack of them out there too. So, but yeah, we're live here at MOMMA GOLDBERGS in Auburn. Getting ready for Auburn and Arkansas tonight, and we'll see what the steady amount of group. I kind of wish low-key. I mean, I'm never going to complain. It's going to be fun. But I was kind of wishing this game would be a Saturday just to see what it would be like. for all of that. But, hey, midweeks are midweeks, and you still got to play them because when we were talking about Arkansas, when they beat Auburn the first time, that was a Tuesday night, I believe, wasn't it? See, Tuesday or Wednesday night is a midweek game.
It's definitely a midweek.
Yeah.
Definitely midweek because then they went to Alabama, lost by a point that weekend, and must no longer cared about getting that win.
No.
That loss at Alabama that followed that stuck with that man for the next 3 years.
Yep.
So,
yep.
yeah.
Never got over that one.
It was a Saturday 11 a.m. game in Tuscaloosa.
Yes, it was. Stuff. Nasty stuff. All right, let's see. We got a few people also here in the chat. David says getting sponsors from Auburn is impressive. A+ salesmanship. Well, we about to, MOMMA GOLDBERGS they were a tough sell, but we closed the deal. ABC always be closing is what we ended up doing. So yeah, but we appreciate it, David. Also, let's see, Camo Gang, the guy who knows everything about me apparently, says Aubie updated their campus in the last 10 years. Grew up 45 minutes from Auburn. Basketball games were like going to a game in the 5th grade auditorium. Yeah, I feel like that's changed a little bit.
Yeah, the campus is awesome, man.
It is.
I played small college basketball, so I went to a smaller school, and what really endeared me about it was just like everything. It was a pretty intimate environment. You know what I mean? And like all the athletic facilities were right there on campus, right in the middle of everything. So much stuff right within walking distance. And this is obviously a much larger scale, but it gives the same vibes.
Yeah.
And I got out this morning while John was gallivanting about with celebrities and just took a tour, like just all the way around campus. And they got some, it's really nice. It's cool. And their athletic facilities, I couldn't get in most of them, but I was trying to do the comparison stuff in my mind. It's like I got by the football practice facility, and they had the 2 outdoor turf fields, and I was like, okay, this is pretty comparable to what Arkansas's got going on. But it seems like their indoor facility is probably a significant upgrade over what Arkansas has right now. I guarantee you they have fully functioning air conditioning. But that looked really nice. And then they have a completely separate area just kind of like dedicated to women's athletics.
Yeah.
And like their own fields and their own, building performance center and everything like that. It's pretty cool, man. I got to give them credit where it's due.
Yeah. I liked it because, it's one of the coolest campuses. And it's like, I was telling Curtis, this is just where my mind goes because I'm weird like that. But all the buildings are like the same design. Like it's all brick and same color schemes and everything where, the U of A, every building's different. Yeah. But like even the Neville Arena is like, it looks like it's the same design that the dormitory is. And so I really like that to where there's a lot of consistency, and it was funny too. Me and Curtis walked around Neville. Been used to walking around Bud Walton Arena because that thing took no time to walk around compared to Bud Walton Arena. But it's a cool setup of how it's all been.
I wanted to bring this up real quick, Andrew. I wonder what you think about this. So as we were walking around Neville, they have it's like this series of gates, and every one of them has like a letter on it. It spells out Auburn Tigers for every one of them. I was like, oh, that's a cool touch or whatever. But they're all dedicated to suites that are in Neville Arena, and then it's like blocked off, sectioned off, and there's an outdoor patio area for all these with like tables and everything. They've got a grill at each one of them, like if you want to barbecue or something. And so it's really interesting. Like I don't know, and Quinn, maybe you can tell us, but it's like a situation where if you have one of these suites, I guess you're hanging out watching the game, and then you can just walk outside these doors and doctor up a glizzy or whatever, and then go back in.
Yeah,
that's
game.
Tailgate.
I don't know if I love that though. Like I've never been in a basketball game and been like, man, I really want to grill right now. But I always am a fan of the indoor outdoor things at sporting events.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool, and it just tells you how intimate of a setting is. A smaller arena. It is what it is. I don't even know how you would make that work in Bud Walton. I don't even know how they're going to make it work in there. I guess we'll find out once we get in the building, but it's interesting.
3/4 of the lower bowl is all students. I'm translating here. Okay. Oh. Okay. So 75% of the lower bowl is all students. So you're gonna have a student section energy and vibe there.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
So that's good. That kind of checks out because what is
it does.
9.9K.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah. And then, so we'll have plenty of pictures and videos from it too tonight that we'll be able to make sure everybody gets a chance to see and everything too. Let's go ahead and continue on here on the show, and we'll get into your SEC update presented by Rhoback. Go to Rhoback.com, use promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your very first purchase. And, the slate wasn't exactly great yesterday for the SEC, but a few games of note that happened. We already mentioned one. In fact, we can go ahead and talk about the big one that happened last night. That was, I wouldn't say it's, well, maybe surprising, but how about Mississippi State going and they're in Starkville beating Texas A&M 70-54. They did indeed rush the court in Starkville, and that was one that it kind of frustrates me even more because I'm like, that was the time for Arkansas to beat them because it seems like they were down. But big win for Mississippi State, and like I say, it's a bad loss for Texas A&M, but they scoring only 54 points and doing that against Mississippi State isn't exactly ideal.
Well, it feels like just a matter of time before somebody exposed the Aggies a little bit. I'm not saying they exposed them as a bad team, but like that style of play that they have can get you beat, and I think it will get them beat early in the NCAA tournament. Mississippi State, like they're no stranger to playing that way, so you go on the road and play them, and they'll get you. Good win for Mississippi State. It's interesting because, we joke about, Arkansas gets this home win, they should rush the floor or whatever. I draw the line at storming the floor for Texas A&M, and I damn sure draw the line at storming the floor for Texas A&M when you were also ranked in the top 25. That one was weird to me. That was wild behavior. For me, it's like, I don't know what, like at least a top 5 team or top 3 team.
Yeah, minimum.
But also, I don't know that you can be in the top 25 yourself and do it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
That's, I don't know how I feel about it, but yeah, I just didn't feel right. I guess Mississippi, but here's the other thing too. It's like, well, Mississippi State, what they've had good to feel about for a while. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have done it, but it's weird. It's Texas A&M. Like if it was like number 7 Kentucky or number 7 Arkansas or number 7, even number 7 Auburn, like somebody else that was number 7 maybe, but yeah, I just don't know. Texas A&M being that, I don't think that's the move. I don't think that's the move for them.
Specifically in basketball, where like beating A&M in basketball, like really, I mean, you beat Alex Caruso's former school, congrats, but like, not really like a big accomplishment. And to your point, if they were ranked number 1, it would be like kind of the only way you could do it against A&M.
Yeah. If it was AC Law, back in the day, then maybe we could talk. But that's just not the case. But you had that one happen. Also, Florida just destroyed Oklahoma. It wasn't even close. I mean, that was just a disgusting display. Oklahoma's cooked. They're done. But 85-63. And me and Curtis, we were watching the game a little bit last night. It wasn't even that close. Like they were up by like 30 points, and it was just they were toying with them at the end of the game. They had the walk-ons in. It was just a nasty, nasty, nasty performance.
Yeah, and I understand, and I got it confirmed again today. And so let me be very clear when I say this. The selection committee for the NCAA tournament does not look at conference records. They don't do it. Nope. It's not a thing. It's not part of the criteria. So there's that. But Oklahoma's 3-10 now in the SEC. They started 13-0, and they've lost 10 games since the calendar flipped to 2025. They've lost 5 in a row now. 4 of them have been by more than 18 points, and the other loss was a quad 3 at home to LSU. And I'm still seeing them ahead of Arkansas in some projections.
I don't get it.
And I get it. They got the head-to-head, and so you can't really say too much. But they're heading in the wrong direction. I don't think Oklahoma is going to make the NCAA tournament. I don't even think they're going to be in the bubble conversation when it's all said and done. It just makes me madder and madder and madder every day that Arkansas lost that freaking game at home. That's crazy because they've fallen off a cliff since that time.
It's quickly become like the LSU game was that game where you're like, how did you lose that game? That's the one that we kind of thought would be the backbreaker. But yeah, OU at home is becoming kind of like a stain on the resume. If
Stinky.
Arkansas had won that game, we wouldn't even really be questioning if they were going to make the NCAA tournament.
No, not at all. In fact, that's what we were saying is like between them and LSU both. It's like it just sucks because if you won those games like you should have, wouldn't even be a conversation. But speaking of LSU, they did get their, I guess, third win of the SEC slate, 81-67 over South Carolina. South Carolina's defeated still in the SEC, over. So I was telling Curtis, it's like, isn't it amazing how like Lamont Paris and Dennis Gates literally just reversed roles from one year to the next? Like, yeah, because last year everyone thought South Carolina was dead last. they roll through it. Dennis Gates goes 0-18, and then this year everyone thought Missouri was going to be bad and South Carolina's going to be better, and now they're 0-4, and Missouri's going to end up probably being like a 4 or 5 seed in the SEC. It's just wild.
Yeah,
that switched.
You're right. It is just such a crazy flip, man. It seems like South Carolina is probably still going to be defeated when Arkansas goes in there, but it's a weird team, man, because like you watch that game, for example, against LSU, where I remember watching them a couple weeks ago when they played Kentucky, and I was like, good Lord, like, yeah, you can see why they haven't won a game in the SEC. They stink.
Mm-hmm.
They're no good. But then you watch them in some other games, and they've really pushed some good teams, especially in that building. So I guess we'll see which version of them Arkansas gets. It's going to be interesting. But shout out to LSU. They got that win. They're about one more win away from moving inside that top 75 in the net, which is so important because that quad 2 loss on the road gets bumped up to a quad 1.
That helps.
Quad 3 win at home gets bumped up to a quad 2. So, like, if they get in that top 75, they're 78 this morning. Arkansas's resume gets better without them having to play another game. So we're all fans of the Bayou Boys.
Yeah, amazing how that works out.
They're
amazing
giving
how that works.
Man another extension.
Yes, I know that. Yeah, like they're giving him another year, and they're going to give him maybe if he wins 5 next year, they'll give him even another year. So yeah, just keep doing your thing over there, McMahon. And I know it's not SEC relevant. Actually, no, I'll tell you what. I'll bring that up in your second. But there are some other games though. As far as tonight goes, you got Arkansas and Auburn, as we know. According to BetSaracen, 16 points, 16-point favorites for the Auburn Tigers tonight. So if you're feeling Arkansas, hey, plus 900 in the money line as well, make some noise there. But still some sneaky good games. I shouldn't say even sneaky. They are good games. But you got Vanderbilt at Kentucky, which, I mean, Vanderbilt's, there's one of those teams that just find ways to win, and not to mention they already beat Kentucky. So, I mean, they might take care of business. That game's at 6 o'clock on the SEC Network. And Kentucky's favored by 5.5, according to SARACEN.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, they did beat them in Nashville, and it's a battle between the 2 worst defenses in the SEC. And that's the thing about Vanderbilt. They're fun to watch, man. They play super fast. They've got good guards, but they can't guard anybody, and it's kind of the same situation as Kentucky. It just sucks, man, that Kentucky, it's such a weird team because they've got all these top 15 wins or whatever, and it's really impressive. A great job Mark Pope is doing, but they're also like the team that bubble teams play to improve their resume. Like Kentucky is everyone's resume win, and so is Michigan, as it turns out. And now they're going into this game. I know it's at Rupp, so okay. But once again, no Lamont Butler, no Jackson Robinson, no Kirk Kriisa. And I'm not encouraging anybody to be a Kentucky fan, but if you're looking for teams that you could catch and pass, Vanderbilt's one of them. And you still get them with a head-to-head. So it's going to be a quad 1 anyway when you play them. I just assume Kentucky beats them and they continue to lose, and then maybe Arkansas can pass them with a win in Nashville. I don't know.
This game's in rough, right? Because they beat them in Nashville, correct? Yeah. I mean, look, ultimately, like Arkansas has those games against Mississippi State, against Vanderbilt coming. Like ultimately, like all this stuff kind of is irrelevant if they go out there and beat those teams. But I think the key for Arkansas, whether it's with this game tonight, whether it's some of these other games, you want to have as less pressure on you as possible. And so, if Arkansas goes out there and beats Auburn, that's going to relieve a good bit of pressure. But yeah, to your point, if Vanderbilt, teams like Oklahoma just continue to kind of piss down their leg, that would really help Arkansas kind of clear the runway for Arkansas to just sneak on in there. But ultimately, if Arkansas just goes out there and beats Vanderbilt in Nashville, beats Mississippi State at home, you're in great spot.
Yep, they'll be just fine. And then finally, a game that it's just so funny because it's also at 8 o'clock on the SEC Network. You got the Alabama Crimson Tide, number 4 in the country, looking to bounce back after their loss to Auburn, going to Columbia to take on the Missouri Tigers, who are 15th in the country. And, again, just shows you the programs where they're at, because this game gets on the SEC Network. Arkansas gets big ESPN, even though they're not ranked, but that's okay. But still, top 15 matchup, and two really good teams in the SEC right now.
Dude, Missouri's really good at home. I mean, Arkansas learned that the hard way, but are they still undefeated at home? I think they are.
Yeah.
But they're kind of a buzzsaw in there. This is much.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's like must-watch television, honestly. Like if Arkansas wasn't playing, I'd definitely tune into this. The style of play for both of those teams, the way they get up and down and shoot a bunch of threes and everything, it should be a pretty aesthetically pleasing brand of basketball. And that's a tough one for Bama. After dropping that one at home and that, just like the heated rivalry, 1 versus 2 against Auburn. I'm sure they'll be super motivated, but man, to have to go on the road and play against a team like that in Missouri who's really good at home, it's a challenge, man.
How about how that game's on SEC Network and the Arkansas Auburn game's on ESPN?
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
I love that.
Right?
And Wade Taylor is the reason why Missouri's not undefeated at home, by the way.
Of all people. Yeah, Wade Taylor. How about that? But yeah, so there's going to be some good games tonight. I know it's not SEC related, but what BYU did to Kansas last night was weird. Like that is a very weird thing. So
who is? I can barely see the
What's
chat,
up?
but who's Tahad Pettiford's?
I don't know. Apparently they're just doing.
There's a lot going on in there. I can't read them. Like listen, the glasses ain't helping the eyes.
Yeah, we got jokes, but like got wives and stuff. Yeah, I know.
Also, he said Auburn's so good we got mid-ass teams traveling to midweek games. Why do people get so offended when we travel? People really think it's like a crazy concept. We go to Lexington, everybody's like, what the hell are those guys doing in
traveling
Lexington?
To cover the team?
Why are you there? And now you're getting shamed for going to Auburn, man. It's funny. Speaking of the Todd guy, I also start this one. Auburn fans hate Auburn, and we don't think about you at all. Is this an accurate assessment? Like, do we ever? I mean, obviously Arkansas plays Auburn tomorrow, but like, how often do we talk about Auburn? If anything, we've been very complimentary of Auburn basketball all year to the point where our own fan base gets pissed at us for being like, quit sucking off Auburn. Right. I mean, Auburn's number one in basketball, so kind of everybody is aiming. They're kind of the team everyone's looking at. But like year round, like, do we ever talk about Auburn?
I mean, just talk about how they're good they were because they were number one. But here's the thing too: is like we plan on going to this game even before Arkansas became like when they were still in the like before even SEC play really got going. Like we were coming to this game because Auburn was that good, and we thought it'd be a better matchup, but still gonna be a good one. So yeah, it's not like on a whim, like me and Curtis were like on Monday, but hey, we should go. How funny would that be? Like, it's you want to do some traveling. We had some fun in Lexington, so we're gonna have some fun in Auburn. Same thing.
I do love how Inside Arkansas has become the reason that other fan bases are patting themselves on the back.
It's incredible.
I mean, it's pretty funny.
We are the unofficial hype men for other fan bases for some reason.
Well, and it's always funny when they come to our stream and they're like, "We're so in your head, bro. Here's $20 in super chats. We're so in your head, bro." It's like, all right.
Yeah. It's pretty strange. It's pretty strange. All right, so we'll continue to move on here, folks. Appreciate everybody tuning in again. We're live here from Mama Goldberg's Deli here in Auburn, getting you ready for Arkansas and Auburn tonight. As again, we'll have not only some content from here, but Pot at the Palace post-game show will go live as soon as the game ends. Looking forward to that, so be sure to subscribe and check into all of that as well. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some of these things going on with BetSaracen, the BetSaracen app. It is the #1 sports betting app here in the state of Arkansas, and it's not even close. If you want to win some money, you got to do it with BetSaracen, and you can go to BetSaracen.com and download the app there. They also have specials, some great specials each and every time. They got a little local flavor, and we appreciate their partnership and everything that's going on with BetSaracen. So a few things. Guys, I love these prop plays and fun stuff that we can always talk about and dive into. But one of the things that I like doing for this, guys, as far as the Razorbacks, not just any team, but the first Razorback to hit a 3-pointer tonight. Who you guys calling? First Razorback to hit a 3-pointer tonight.
I was going to speak, but I said I'm going to wait. I want Andrew to go first.
I'm going to go DJ Wagner. Do you remember that Tennessee game? I think DJ Wagner scored like the first 7 points for Arkansas or something like that. The thing about DJ Wagner is he can attempt any shot he wants at any point. Teams do not guard him when it comes to him taking shots. Like they will let him. You want a mid-range pull-up? You want a wide open three? You want a clear path to the rim? DJ can get him. Obviously, he's not the most talented shot maker in the world, but I think he's going to get a wide open, go under a screen three, and he'll hit it in the early minutes.
I like that. I've been on that train a little bit, so I'm glad you took that one. I'm going to leave the low-hanging fruit for John, and I'm going to go Carter Knox.
Oh man!
As the first three.
Well, if you want DJ Wagner, it's plus 500 for first 3-point shooter. If you want Carter Knox, it's plus 350 to hit the first 3-point shot. I was gonna say Trevin Brazil because I'm still gonna go with the others. Just one time, it's gonna hit.
Z right there for
I know, but I want to have somebody else hit it. Like I just want to because it's gonna happen the time. Of course, no, it's gonna happen the time I don't bet it. No matter what, I'm gonna be wrong. But plus 2,000 for the others. But if you feel like Big Z, plus 240. And that's not even the best odds. Nelly Davis is still at plus 230 to be the one that hits the first three more often. So
listen, I hope so, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, dang.
Man, I think Nelly actually might hit the first three.
I hope so.
There you go.
Well, he said that.
We've talked about like 7 different players to hit a 3. We're not talking about the guy who's most likely to attempt one, and the guy that really Arkansas needs to get going. If Nelly hits a 3 in the first 3 minutes, Hogs money line. Go ahead and live bet it.
Yep.
He set that tone at Rupp.
Yeah, that's
first possession.
Kentucky was there. If you want to do the first point scorer, who you guys think is going to score the first points of the game?
I always go DJ Wagner on that one.
Plus 450 for DJ Wagner for first point scored for the Razorbacks. Bet you, Ellis, who are you going to go with?
Give me a Duke Thero putback.
All right, so he's
off of a Nelly Davis miss.
He has the best odds of plus 250. It's plus 250 for a Duke Thero. So, but yeah, how about that? And then I'm not even going to do the tip because it just makes me laugh. It's like, who's going to win the tip? It's like, well,
I'm betting on Lee to win the tip. He better win the tip.
Minus 105 both ways.
He's been losing it, man.
Yeah,
I think he got it against A&M though, but ever since that became a thing on Saracen, I've been like, oh yeah, the 7-2 guy, sure. And I know he lost against LSU, and it made me mad. And who'd they play before that?
He lost it against Texas. I bet on it against Texas.
Yeah, I mean, come on, bro. 7-2. It's like they kept starting Connor Vanover that year.
Yes.
And there was only one reason why, because he'd come out after 3 minutes, you wouldn't see him again. Win the tip, dude.
Yep. Oh. Just do it that way.
Just the tip.
That's right. Just the tip. How about this? Do you guys think it'll be to start the game? Do you think it'll be high scoring, low scoring? What are you thinking here?
I think it's going to be medium scoring, John.
Okay. Well, if you think that, like, some of this is kind of interesting. So if you think that there's going to be less than 2 3-pointers taken in the first 3 minutes made less than 2 3-point field goals made in the first 3 minutes, that's minus 200. As in, they don't you could have it at that, which I'm like, I could see 2 threes being made. This is by both teams, by the way, not just Arkansas, but by both. So I could see that happening. But if you think that there's going to be if you think there's going to be 2 3-pointers made, you get that plus 160 with Saracen.
In 2 minutes, you said first 2 minutes?
3 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 3 minutes. I think
Give me that.
Yeah, I'm going to take that. Also, first 2 minute specials. If you think neither team's going to score, it's plus 1100 for the first 2 minutes of the game. So if you think only one team's going to score in the first 2 minutes, it's plus 230. I may actually take that because I don't think it's going to happen, but I could totally see Arkansas not scoring in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Time out at the 17:57 mark, where it's like,
Yes, could totally see that. So yeah, that's just one of the mini specials they got going on. They got a lot of prop plays for the players and everything. But I like this. I'm not saying I like it, but I'm just thinking it's funny. There's 2 of them, guys. I'm just going to read these. The 2 biggest odds on the double R prop plays here on BetSaracen at plus 450. John L. Davis over 2.5 steals and over 3.5 assists, as well as Big Z over 4.5 block shots and over 9.5 field goals attempted.
I actually don't think either one of those are outrageous.
I don't either. I think this Big Z one's actually an easy one to me, or easier one,
because he's been getting 4 blocks a game here recently.
Nelly's steals have been like pretty consistent. He's a 2 to 3 steal guy, and he's had some four steal games. Yeah, so he has to get 3 steals and 4 assists. Weirdly enough, the 4 assists I think are going to be harder because he doesn't dribble a ton. But I mean, I think against Kentucky, I think he did that. You know what I mean? Where he made shots, had a few assists, had a few steals. That would be huge, and he didn't even have to make shots in this one. I like that one at plus 450. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, at those odds, it feels feels like a worthy investment.
I don't think Big Z's going to block 5 shots. I'll just go ahead and put my flag in that one. I don't think he's going to block 5 shots in this game.
If Big Z blocks 5 shots, he's eating Broom up. So I don't know that that's going to happen either.
Yeah. If he does that,
Carter Knox one 9.5 points, 5.5 rebounds. Rebounding is that's kind of been the thing in SEC play. A lot of Carter's best games have been when he just attacks the glass out of nowhere. I can see him getting 6 rebounds, knocking down a couple threes.
He's a second half backboard merchant for sure. Carter Knox.
For sure. 10.6 boards for Carter at what are these odds at? Plus 250.
Yeah. There's plenty of them. Yeah, there's plenty of them there at Saracen. So, folks, if you like those, if you want to win some money, if you're feeling the Hogs tonight, bet the Hogs, and you can do it. BetSaracen, again, #1 sports betting app in the state of Arkansas on your iPhone or on your Android. You can check it out there with BetSaracen. Again, this has been fun. So just hanging out. And of course, our chat's wild, and I just kind of ignored it for a while because you guys are doing stuff that I don't really want to look at. So, but we'll be fine with that either way. a few other things of note. I'm probably Curtis because I know we were. I'm gonna be honest. Me and Curtis, when we came here to Mama Goldbergs, it's always it's a rolling of the dice as far as if like the internet's going to work or if we're going to be strong enough to stream and all that. So sometimes we're just like, hey, let's be safe than sorry. We're going to unplug everything. We're going to shut the lights out. We're going to be on power, low power mode, just to try to make sure that we got the best signal. But I saw that you had is this the Quickly thing? Was this you that posted this? Or was it Andrew that put this picture in? Oh, was this Andrew?
I put it in there yesterday. We were talking about, because we were kind of going back and forth because we had the one Kentucky fan who was like, well, the only reason Rupp's not loud is because it's such a big arena. And we were like, well, you can have 20,000 in there and still be loud. So I put that Quickly picture in there, and then I forgot to bring it up. But yeah, there's Emmanuel Quickly covering his ears as John Calipari's getting booed or getting ejected at Bud. A lot of people do say that's the loudest moment they've seen, they've been a part of at Bud. You see the Sharkensaw in the background. I mean, I think that picture speaks volumes. Emmanuel Quickly has played in Rupp a lot. He's played in a lot of the biggest venues in the SEC. Now he's, of course, playing in the big leagues and the big leagues. Him covering his ears on the court, I think that's a huge, chip on Arkansas's resume.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I remember that too. Of I was always laughing. I was like, well, Bud Walton just gave tinnitus to Emmanuel Quickly. Like he just has it. But there's been a few occasions where people had to cover their ears like that. And I think it was Quickly that said he got interviewed by Kentucky media after the game, but it was like their next like midweek thing. And he was just like, man, I ain't never heard anything like that loud before in my life. Like just saying how insane it was. So yeah,
I'm just cracking up, dude. There's a couple Auburn fans in the chat who are just having conversations with themselves about nothing we're talking about. Like this one guy says, Piglet is still stuck on that backward spike, like it decided the SEC West or something. We have not talked about the Bo Nix fumble like at all on the show. We're talking basketball, and this other one says, yeah, they care so much about the Bo backward spike. Like we didn't bring it up at all.
Just didn't bring it up. That wasn't even.
Yeah. Although
we live a little closer to the present than that. There's been a lot of football games between Arkansas and Auburn since then, including the one where Arkansas went down to Auburn and won this year. So.
Well, and I was just going to say, it's like, I still remember it, and I'm still pissed about it and all that. So, but hey, you guys were the idiots that hired Chad Morris as your offensive coordinator after you left Arkansas, and then you were wondering why Malzahn didn't work out. That
beginning of the end, man.
Yeah, I was like, okay, gee, yeah, like brilliant stuff there.
We could take a page out of the BBN playbook here and be like, we tried to tell you. We tried to warn you.
Yeah, I tried to tell you. Yeah,
we tried to tell them.
Yeah, tried to tell you that Kyle Frazier couldn't throw the ball. Like, we could go on and on and on about that stuff. So,
who was the quarterback who threw a half dozen interceptions?
Was it? You're talking about Ole Miss?
Year. No.
Oh, this year.
Yeah, because it was. Yeah, the freshman that they started and they yanked him at halftime.
Yeah, because it was Peyton Thorne and Hank. Yeah, Hank.
It was
Hank Brown.
Something.
Hank Brown. Yeah.
And then they went back to what's his name?
Peyton Thorne. Yeah.
If they had started Peyton Thorne, they probably win the game. Let's be honest.
They probably would have. Yeah. Honestly, they probably would have.
Yeah, because I remember we were laughing as we were doing Inside Arkansas Live. We're just like, they're starting Hank Brown. I'm like, Hank Brown. I was like, that's like the most like 1940s like football player name that you could ever have. It's like, oh, we're going to give it to old Hank.
Didn't they?
Big Hank.
They got Oklahoma's guy now, right? Jackson Arnold.
Yep.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yep. Believe so. Believe so. But hey, enough football talk. We're not going to let the Aubies come in here and decide what we're talking about.
Football. We really don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, but no one wants to talk about football here. Football's dead to us all.
Hey, but congrats. Auburn doesn't have to take that ass whipping in baseball, I don't believe. I don't think Arkansas plays Auburn in baseball this year.
Nope, they don't.
Good for them.
Nope, they sure don't. They sure don't.
See you in Hoover.
Yeah, and that's like, we'll meet up in Hoover. I will say me and Curtis kind of missed the boat. We should have gone, at least for a little bit, to the Auburn baseball game last night against Troy. We should have gone to that. Like, we didn't even think about it. But I don't know if they ended up winning or not. I know it's tied when we left.
I think they did.
The establishment. So
it would have been cool to see some SEC baseball, but such a bad park. Like truly a bottom 3 park in the SEC. Missouri's is worse for sure, but that park sucks, dude. It's shaped weird.
Do you think
green monster in left field?
Yeah. Do you think Auburn fans were chanting overrated at Troy last night since Troy was ranked and they weren't?
They should have. They would have. They should have done that. There was quite a few Troy fans there too. So yeah, it was a good thing. It's that. Yeah, I wouldn't think. Yeah, Quinn's over here. We'd never do that with Troy. Yeah. It would be. But hey, it's good to see our guy Kingsley back. It's been a while since we've heard from Kingsley. It's been off and on. But he says,
What's up, man?
I sure did miss a ton. He's like, daycare closed due to the road, so I'm on a 2-year-old duty right now. So I'm tapping in and out of the chat, but it's on the TV. Thanks, man.
Kingsley, I hope to see you this weekend, buddy. If you're, hey, let me know if you're going to be at those games in Arlington. I'll probably be at Papacitos on Saturday if you want to come hang out.
Papacitos.
Yeah.
Is that the place we tried to walk into and then walked out of, or was that the other one?
No, we actually did it. You talking about in Austin?
Yeah, we went to Papa Do's.
We ate there in Austin. We like sat at the bar, and it's Papacitos and Papa Do's are always in the same parking lot because I'm assuming same people own them.
I just always get confused. Are they Italian? Like, what kind of food is it?
Well, Papa Do's is like
steaks, right?
Yeah, and like seafood and stuff. And we went in there, and it was uncomfortable, man, and it was really expensive. And we didn't dine and dash. We just dashed, and we went next door to Papacitos. It was a good time,
which is like Mexican-ish.
Yeah.
Well, just as long as you didn't pay and go missing for 45 minutes, and then no one knows where you were at. As long as you didn't do that. That'll work. But no, we actually, real quick, because I know since we're here in Auburn, we got to, because yesterday on Inside Arkansas Live, me and Curtis just literally rolled in to Auburn and set up and went live. So we didn't get a chance to really explore, check anything out. But walking around Auburn, there was a lot of cool spots here that we got to see. We started at Taco Mama last night, which was recommended by our friend Taylor Korn. Solid spot.
It's good.
Solid spot. It's packed. It's busy. Like really busy. And then went to a place called Halftime.
Yeah.
I just go somewhere else. And then you had another place called
Jack Brown.
Jack Brown. Oh, yeah, like the one from Kentucky. There was another place we were going to check out. Yeah, they have one of these here. Apparently it's new. That's what I heard. But we'll say that
Southeastern.
Yeah, Southeastern, but apparently they had a private event, and it looked like if you like hate fraternity and sorority stuff, it would have been literally your nightmare, because that's all it was over there.
A lot of blazers out last night. Yeah, a lot of blazers.
Okay, yeah, Sky Bar, right? Sky Bar, yeah. Sky Bar, we didn't get a chance to check out here. But who knows? Maybe we'll check it out tonight. But yeah, those are pretty popular. Yeah, college bars. So it's cool though, seeing it all and everything. I put out the poll question if me and Curtis should have partaken in the rated R adult trivia that was going on at the establishment we were at last night. We did not. In fact, we were just getting started as soon as we bounced, and we felt like we made a good decision not to be there for that. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, John made up his mind before he even put that poll question out, because he got duped by the waitress into getting like these atomic bomb wings, and man, his forehead was sweating. Like he was going bad. I tried it, and it got me right away. But yeah, as soon as he got those wings and realized they were way too hot to eat, he like ate a French fry that had the sauce on it, and he started freaking out. Dude. And I don't blame him. And we were done there.
Dude, it was what's crazy is like, I can handle hot. Like we all have a threshold, but like I can do hot. And that was what I asked her, because it was this flavor. I think it was called Flag on the Play. And I was like, so what is that? And they're like, oh, it kind of is like medium or mild, medium, and then Flag on the Play. It's like the hot. I was like, okay, well, I've had gone to other places and gotten the hot wings, and I tried them, and I ate one bite, and of course I'm like, I might die. Like it was some. I didn't eat any of them, and after that, but yeah, it was some shenanigans that were going on. That's all I'm going to say. But still. It's been a cool spot though. The weather was really nice yesterday. That was what was crazy, is we're walking around and not having any. It would rain this morning, but still nowhere near as cold as what it is up there in Arkansas, in Northwest Arkansas right now. But we're going to probably experience it on our way back tomorrow when we come in and check it out. So
can't wait.
Yeah. Andrew,
how much snow did we wind up getting up there?
I don't know, man. I literally have not gone outside at all. I took the trash out yesterday at like 3. It's like so cold. Like, I'm sure there's some people that are out there building snowmans and stuff, but I'm like, it's so cold that it like would hurt your fingers and toes and such if you're just out there. So I'm probably not going to spend too much time. I'm going to guess at least a foot. I saw that there were a lot of projections going into it that were saying it would be potentially a foot of snow. When I went to take the trash out at about 3 p.m. yesterday, it was like up, like there's a little curb, and it was like up over that curb. And it snowed for a good 5 hours after that. So it's like, I'm going to guess at least a foot. It's a lot of snow.
Well, poor Rowdy. That's all I'm going to say. Andrew decided against getting out in his vehicle and driving to my place to check on my dog. So I had to make other arrangements.
Risking his life.
I know. I'm so disappointed at Andrew for not wanting to risk his life to go let my dog out to pee. So, but
that's the first decision I made this morning. I woke up and I was like, I'm not leaving.
Nope.
There's no way.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, Andrew. I told Curtis, I'm like, I'm just gonna let Andrew tell me, because I knew you weren't gonna do it, and I was gonna tell you not to do it. But then I was like, I want Andrew to like just let me know for sure, because if I found out that you were actually trying to get out in it, I would have been really upset with you. I've been like, dude, don't be stupid. Like, it's not worth it at all. Don't be dumb that. So
I will say though, but part of why I was like kind of thinking I might be able to do it again is because like I would assume, like I haven't seen MLK, but I'm gonna assume they like cleared off MLK, and not to give away the locations of our houses, but it's basically just down MLK. If I can, So I was like, I think I can make it work, but no.
Yeah, smart people. Don't drive out there, folks, if you don't have to. Like, that's the whole thing. And if you have to because of work or anything like that, then just obviously be as extremely careful as possible. But if you don't have to get out in it, do not get out in it. It is not worth it, especially since it's like you said, it's like 4 degrees outside, so it's just going to get the snow that's fresh powder that may be easier to drive in is going to turn into hard snow and ice, and which makes it even worse. So just don't do it unless you want to do it. So unless you have to do it.
Is our 10-hour drive going to become like a 16-hour drive tomorrow?
We may be sleeping on the side of the road over there out in Pottsville.
Stopping Tupelo again?
Yeah, so, which was low-key weirdly nice. Just to be honest. Like, low-key weirdly nice for the time we were there. But, we may have to deal with that. We'll see. Again, appreciate everybody locking in with us, too. I want to, like, we're talking about Auburn and everything, and Brad comes in and he says, John, do you think Hunter Yurchek should downsize Bud to the size of the jungle 100% attendance? And the answer is no at all, because that's first off, I'm getting to the point where I feel like he's going to downsize it a little bit anyways, because it just kind of seems whatever that is. But no, I would say that not, because here's the thing. You're like, 100% attendance. Will it be, though? Because if they downsize it, all it's going to do is up the prices of the games. And that's going to make even more people have to leave and not want to come to the games. So, no, like, you have 19,200 people. You had no problem a year or two ago filling it up. And again, I think everybody's got to be under the understanding that it's fine if it's a non-conference game against nobodies and you're not going to have a full crowd, all of that. But if you're going to have a big game and you want to have, what was it? The Alabama game, I don't think it was 19,200, but I mean, it's about as packed as you could see. And so you can still do it. You can still obviously have the ability to do it. It's just, you got to pick and choose your battles in your game. So no, the answer is no. You don't need to downsize it, because that would cut it in half pretty much. And there's no reason for that.
You would do less than half, because I mean, I think it would definitely, like, you're not going to take out 10,000 seats from your arena. I could see some downsizing, but not that much downsizing. We don't need to go back to a junior high venue.
Oh yeah, don't need to do that. Yeah. So,
and this is interesting because I don't remember if it was yesterday, maybe one day this week, we were talking about how well Auburn fans travel, especially for basketball, and it's just been something that I've noticed. And Quinn was saying one of the reasons why they travel so well is because ticket prices here at Neville are so high. And I remember, like, at first we weren't 100% sure, like, are we going to be astute members of the media for this game, or like, are we going to have to find tickets or whatever? So I just looked at them last week. I was like, dude, you can't get in the door for less than, $180 for, this ain't the Arkansas-Kentucky game with all that hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, geez, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So luckily we didn't have to worry about that, but I could see it, man. And you're right. That is exactly what would be the case when people are already upset about the price of tickets at Bud. So I couldn't even imagine what it would look like, man.
Yeah. Could you imagine if Hunter Yurchek's or anybody at the U of A is like, we're going to downsize Bud Walton Arena, but I tell you what, guys, since we're doing that, we're going to make the tickets cheaper, because we're going to lose a lot more money. So let's make them cheaper and not raise the price at all. Because that's what you do. Because again, it goes back. They sold 19,200 season tickets. They sold all the season tickets. So guess what happens when you downsize? You don't get as many season ticket sales. Simple as that. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, like Quinn says, it would be something else. Concession stands would always be pricing everybody out of there left and right as much as possible.
There's a lot of changes, updates, renovations, and things like that they can do at Bud Walton Arena before they need to start worrying about downsizing that much.
No, they got bigger fish to fry at this point in time, if that's the case. But
they got to update the carpet in the suites.
Yeah. They got to update. So much, and that's what I'm also going to be curious about too tonight. Of looking at Neville, is just comparing it to what we've seen. Because Rupp it's a convention center / arena, like other stuff's there. It's not even a campus thing. Well, this is a campus thing, so we got to see like what on-campus facilities are like. for this. So
I wonder how close to Moody it's going to be. You didn't go to that, did you?
No, I did. Thankfully
Me
not.
and
I didn't
Andrew
go
went
to
there.
that.
I
Yeah.
wonder how close it's going to be to that in terms of size and like relatively new and everything. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. Like I said, we'll have some fun with that too. Here, I guess. How was it? 8:00. So we got 6.5 hours. We had a chant just happen for Hip Hip Hooray here. I'm sure it's something that goes on, but I don't know. This, by the way, this building we're in MOMMA GOLDBERGS over 100 years old, and had to find this. There's like one power outlet, and we are in it. And it's the one that's sitting above Curtis's head right now. So
yeah, we can see everything that's plugged in.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, but no, we appreciate it though. Again, it's been really cool to be here, and we like being. If we're going to be on location places, we might as well go and check out the vibes where everything's at. But it's very much Auburn decked out. In fact, Curtis just pointed out too before the show started the new arena, new era poster up here with it's a picture of the Auburn basketball team and Tony Barbie holding a basketball.
Yeah, autographs from Tony Barbie and their entire first team at Auburn. That's
what's he doing these days?
I don't know, man.
He's one of the thing. He's one of the guys that Cal did not want back. One of the old guards. He just didn't want back. So that's probably a reason for that, and probably a reason why. All right, I guess I'm glad we banned that Auburn fan. Now he's getting annoying. He's coming. People are just like, shut up. I just get so out of all of that.
John's hate for the chat lives on.
I know. Well, it's just like, again, I like the chat, and of course we appreciate the super chats, and those are always going to get read, like, because we appreciate that, and we're trying to read as much as the good ones as possible. But then when it just goes off the rails, and we got,
spamming.
just spamming, and it looks like a cesspool of like Bitcoin, then no, I don't want to like look at that and have to go through it and sort through it all. That's not what we do.
And I mean, it really is tough. Like, I'm not, I don't care that much, but it's like, we haven't said anything crazy about Auburn. I make fun of their arena, you know what I mean? But like, we've been like,
I do too.
The team, haven't really said anything bad about like Bruce Pearl or any of those guys. Like, we speak highly of Janai Broom all the time. I honestly, it's kind of just bums me out that we've only seen like 3 Auburn fans in the chat and they all suck. Actually, that's a lie. Not Quinn. Quinn's been cool. He's been the one good Auburn fan. But like Kentucky, we had so many that like there was some good, some bad, some in between, some that would go back and forth. But like Auburn fans have not been as well represented in our chat.
Yeah, well, they're new to this basketball thing, so it takes them a little bit while to get going and understanding that blue blood means you win a lot and have had a lot of success, and you win at least one national championship. But they haven't been able to do it yet.
They've got this huge, and if anyone watched the Pod at the Palace this morning, you saw it. But they've got this huge mural banner of their Final Four appearance outside of Neville, and I was getting that in the shot to start the Pod at the Palace, and I was getting ready to start, and I was going to open by like making fun of it, like, wow, well, they're really proud of this one thing. And as I was getting ready to start, Dylan Cardwell walked right behind me and like beside me. And, it's like the biggest guy in their team or whatever. Could you imagine if I was live and I was like, oh, look at these idiots, and he walks by and choke slams me or something?
The one guy who has some beef with Arkansas too.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. Yeah. That would have been a great thing for content as long as the film kept rolling. That would have been great for that. But yeah, listen, it's just fun. It's just fun to make fun of some Auburn fans for a little bit, like all in good jest, just like they make fun of Arkansas. It's the same stuff. It's all in good fun. But yeah, because I've always had the adage that if you want to consider yourself like a blue blood program or even like a big time basketball program, my whole thing is always like you had to have at least 2 or more Hall of Fame coaches coach there. I feel like that's always been a kind of a good start, because if it's like, for instance, Florida had Billy Donovan. I guess not Lex Luger. What was his name? That was the wrestler. Don Kruger.
Let's stick with Lex Luger.
No, it was Lex Kruger. What was his name?
Lon Kruger.
Lon Kruger. I was all over the place for that one. Can't believe people don't think I'm good with names. But yeah, like they had him. But it's like Billy Donovan. It's like, okay, Florida's been good because of Billy Donovan. I know they're good right now. But, in Auburn right now, it's like, dude, you got Bruce Pearl. But if it wasn't for Bruce Pearl, program is shambles. Like, it'd be trash. So, yeah, it's just that's been always the way I've looked at it. And Auburn's definitely on their way. If they can ever break through and win a championship, then they'll definally – I don't know if they'll be in the conversation of that. But, yeah, I've been saying that if they don't, it's the biggest failure.
One would think, man.
It's a disappointment.
It's thinking about that big Final Four banner or whatever and poking fun at it and stuff. It reminded me of when people were freaking out earlier this year about the Texas Bowl that they didn't play.
Oh yeah,
banner that they've got at Razorback Stadium.
I forgot all about that.
We've got plenty of stuff you can dunk on or pass plastered around the University of Arkansas. But Curtis, you remember we were during football season, we used to do like on the Locked On, we would do like kind of a rivalry assessment of each team that Arkansas was playing in football. And when they played Auburn, we were talking about it that like considering that Arkansas and Auburn were in the same division for 30 years or whatever, probably the least amount of animosity just overall. Like it's obviously, when Auburn's number one or when Arkansas is good, like there's some beef there. But like football, basketball, baseball, like Auburn's kind of a team that's a divisional rival. It's always a good game, but it's like I don't think there's a ton of real like animosity from like the team themselves and like the fan bases, at least compared to some of the other ones. Like obviously LSU, Arkansas and LSU have had some classic battles. Fan bases hate each other. Bama, everybody hates them just because they've been so good in football. But like Ole Miss, like there's definitely some real animosity there. Of course, A&M. I feel like if I were to power rank all the SEC teams in terms of how much I hate them, Auburn's kind of like right in the middle of the pack. Like I don't like them, but I definitely don't like have a ton of like deep-seated anger toward them.
I don't know. I hate them. So, but that's just me. Like I don't speak for everybody.
They're definitely middle.
Where do they rank on your list, John? Are they like closer to the top?
No, we're talking strictly just Auburn basketball, right? Or just
like in like a program in general.
Like just in general, you know what I mean? Because it also varies sport to sport. Like, of course, Kentucky's a huge basketball rival, but like we don't care if we're playing them in football or baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably have them third.
Really?
Yeah, probably.
Who's behind like A&M and?
I'd say okay. So if we're doing all sports, I got to throw in A&M too, and Texas. So I'm moving them down the list a little bit.
That's your list.
I was thinking of like the old SEC, I guess, in my mind. Like before A&M and Texas joined. So I guess I'll throw them in, but so they maybe move down, I guess, fifth. But I always LSU's definitely up there been for me. Because I mean, even basketball, I hated John Brady and I hated Will Wade, that stuff, and then baseball and football are obvious reasons. Bama, I never really, other than basketball recently, I never had any problem with. I never hated Nick Saban. Like I never had a problem, like strength of hatred for him. Ole Miss is definitely up there, and
Missouri for you.
Yeah, again, I guess Missouri.
But Missouri doesn't matter,
but Missouri is so irrelevant except for anything, right? Except for football right now. Like they're like basketball, they're never relevant. I know they're good this year. I'm not saying that, but like, and then in baseball, they're so bad. I don't know. They're more just obnoxious.
You had the Mike Anderson thing, which definitely like fueled some of that rivalry, especially as Missouri was coming to the SEC. They're not great, but like we still hate Missouri. I'm going to be fired up Saturday when we play those guys. And football, of course, like Missouri. I mean, you can make an argument. I know Hog fans, cover your ears, Hog fans. Missouri might be Arkansas's number one rival in football. So that's very, very much. I mean, they play them on rivalry weekend. So I definitely like get more fired up where I'm like, I really do not want to lose to these guys. It doesn't like hurt my soul when Arkansas loses to Auburn.
Well,
that's fair.
I don't know. I still hate Auburn. I try to say I hate everybody equally, and sometimes it just depends. Like I used to hate Ole Miss a lot more when Houston Nutt was there, but then when they went through, Hugh Freeze kind of had some hatred. But then Matt Luke's there, and I'm like, I don't care about Matt Luke. It varies. So, no, I just like I said, I hate everybody equally.
Lane Kiffin's the only Ole Miss guy I've never hated.
It's actually kind of true.
Like, I have less hatred for them now than I did 5-6 years ago, frankly.
Lane Kiffin's our kind of guy, though.
Yeah. We'd be buddies for sure.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But I'll admit that, like, Auburn, up until Bruce Pearl got here, I remember they had the years. It was Jeff Lebo. Was that his name, the coach that was here? I think his name was Lebo.
Couldn't tell you.
Barbie. Yeah, but he had it was either him or Barbie. I think it was Barbie that had our guy Rob Chubb, who was a basketball player at Auburn. Yeah, and you just look him up. He got arrested, and we printed out mugshots for him in the student section. Greatest guy ever because we were holding it up and making fun of him and all that. He walks over and says, "This is awesome," and he signed one. So I was like, I appreciate you. I respect that. Respect that. So that's about as long of the history I have with Auburn and Arkansas basketball pre-Bruce Pearl is that one moment where that happened. And, of course, in like 99 when they had Chris Porter and those guys, they were pretty good. But that's about it. All right. Well, man, that was a fast-moving show. It's amazing like how the weather's cleared up. I don't think we got any more rain coming in and everything. So, but we really appreciate Mama GOLDBERGS having us hang out and chill here and appreciate each and every one. So, guys, before we roll out of here for the day, least here on Inside Arkansas Live. Any final thoughts, Andrew?
No final thoughts from me. I look forward to seeing whether or not I will make an appearance on tonight's post-game show. Curtis sent me the text right before he fired me from it. Said, don't even think about showing up on the post-game show, you bum. So I was like, all right, fine. I guess I won't do the post-game show tonight. But if Arkansas wins, like, I'm 1,000% going to make an appearance. Going to have some Coors banquets in my system by that point.
There we go. I
Okay.
like that a lot. Yeah, after I got fired from the Bombastics after a win, so I was like, I got to return the favor. But no, we'll be live from Neville tonight, so we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, Andrew has he's declared that with the Razorback victory, he's getting on anyway, and we'll just hope we can hear him. And if not, we'll just let him. When his mouth stops moving, we'll talk about something else and we'll figure it out.
And we'll just be like, yes, we agree.
But if they lose, he's chilling. That's the agreement we've come to here.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah. Well, luckily I haven't been fired from any post games because I never really do many post games to begin with. So it's like I don't have to fire myself. But no, we're going to get it done here, and it's going to be, again, win or lose, we booze. But also Arkansas Pot at the Palace post game show will happen regardless at the end. But yeah, so that'll do it for us. We really appreciate it. Again, all the super chats too. Oh wait, got one last one. Homer Hodgson just says F Auburn and send a super chat. So
I like that. That's
good. That's a good one to end on too.
Good.
Be on,
That's
yeah. So very, very much appreciated, my man. And I guess he's a Simpsons fan. At least I hope so. But we really appreciate that, and appreciate everyone's super chat. Appreciate Quinn coming by and hanging out. Appreciate your super chats as well, man. Appreciate Logan with the 5 hundo, man. That's insane. That's awesome. That's incredible. So we really appreciate all your support. It's been awesome being here. David, I swear, he said teabags on tumor. All right. No, I saw somebody say gonna go. Was it what was the guy's name that poisoned the trees? How am I missing?
Updike?
Yeah, as I go full Harvey Updike on him. You know, like I mean, just something like that. It's all the jokes are going to be there. So yes, but we appreciate it, David, and doing all that. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. So again, be sure to subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas. Be sure to follow us on social media, Inside Arkansas. You can download the podcast where podcasts are found on the audio side of things with Pot at the Palace, as well as Bombastic, as well as Inside Arkansas Live. And check out our website, InsideArkansas.com, for all the latest and greatest up-to-date information on things Razorback. So that does it for us. Is we appreciate also shout out to Mama GOLDBERGS for allowing us to live stream the show here today here in Auburn. So for Andrew Ellis, as well as Curtis Wilkerson, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your night, folks. We'll see you at the Pot at the Palace postgame show following Arkansas and Auburn tonight.